It's Gucci. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, you're muted.
Okay, awesome. I can. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
There's. I forgot. I never sent you the message. It's in our inbox.
The struggle is
Gee.
real.
So this is what I was gonna send you, but I didn't know if you had anything already set up. Um, but this is but I've honestly I've still been, reading self-images where I'm at completely and everything.
Same.
Um,
I think it's like such a wavelength of like, I don't know if it's cyclical. Have you ever noticed like themes that come across the year at the same time
hmm
in the same time span? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we were working on self-image at this time of year like 2 years ago.
mm,
And I was like, yo.
yeah, and now it's in a at a new level though. I feel like, you know what I mean? Because it's like what's coming is requiring such a different version of us. And it's like we've changed so much, but it's like, all right, time to change some more.
Yep. And it's like, all right,
Like
next.
literally, literally, I gotta drop because I've been cleaning and kids are all over the place. It's been a morning, but it's been a good morning, just busy. Just busy.
What was probably the most impactful thing that you realized this week or learned this week?
Mm. That the time is now.
Mm.
And it's like how when you realize how bad you want it, how bad you want anything, whether it's change or a certain type of anything, you have to be the one to do it.
Mm.
You have to be at this astronomical mental level, with yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cut this crap out. We're not doing this. Take this out. You know what I mean? Like, literally disciplining your distractions, your mental distractions, because it's so real.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's so real. But it's something that you look forward to that, you know what I mean? That you're grateful for because it's needed. It's needed in everything that especially right now, just what's happening with everything right now, now is the time.
You're like,
Like,
now.
now is the time. Like, you know how they're like, yeah, preparation meets, whatever opportunity. I like that. I feel like we're living that currently. So it's like, okay, what do I need to continue to do? But the time is not for real.
That's
Because
cool.
we've been doing so much. We've been stacking up so much, planting so much seeds. So it's like, all right, how can you not do the same thing, even though we are supposed to do the basics over and over again, but to this new level, right? Like do it in a certain way. On this challenge that I've been doing, he was saying the other day, getting wealth and getting rich is not by doing certain things, it's by doing things a certain way. So, okay, how can you do your goals a certain way? Okay, like how can you tweak this level for this quarter in a certain way? Because it's the same things that we need to do,
Right. I think
you
what's
know?
cool now, having been in space for a while, um, on any level of business, like Eugene, you know what it takes to do like the things that you do. It's like we're not in that like completely unaware state. Like you know the actions that are necessary to produce results. And when you're just like, oh my God, just do the thing. Like literally that's the basics. Like actually doing the things that you said you would do, when you said you would do them, how you said you would do them. It's the more that I study people, especially like I think seeing how much fun successful people have in the sense that they have fun after they get all their stuff done. And then they can enjoy getting their stuff done and having fun together instead of dilly-dallying, having some fun in the middle of it, not actually getting all their stuff done, and then feeling bad that they had fun and bad that they didn't get their work done. And I was like, why don't we just have all the fun, get our work done, and do
Why not while we're doing all of it? Why not
why
during
not
all
do
of
it
it?
all? And
Yeah,
I've observed that with Nano, I've observed that with Jay, I've observed that with like just the way in which they work. Even with like Shanda Mel, they have so much fun after they handle business.
right.
And it's like, yeah, their business is fun, but obviously like it's work. Um, but just in like pure observation, I'm like, oh, they can enjoy having fun because they got
Hmm.
everything done. Whereas me, I'm like, I just want to have fun. And
Right. And it's
I'm
like not
like,
the time.
not the time, not the right place, not the thing. Like,
Read the room.
yeah.
Real talk.
But that's cool. I know we'll keep it. If you want to go first, just so that if anything comes up and you gotta hop off, um, you just go over maybe some things that you learned this week, and then a little bit more of the self-image that you've been learning, and then
Yeah,
I'll take it from there.
no, for sure. Sounds good. Sounds great. Yeah, no, that was definitely one of the things I would say that, like I was saying in the beginning, like just the time is now. So because the time is now, it's like, all right, cool. We need to, like I was saying, discipline our distractions, discipline our thoughts. And honestly, it always goes back to you. It always goes back to you. And there's this thing that I found that used to be on my wall. Usually, when the sticky notes run out fall, and I found it this morning, and it says, enhance each time you grow.
Mm.
So it's like, don't just grow. It's not enough to just grow. It's great. Yeah, grow. But every time you grow, enhance the growth. And I seen that and I'm like, that's lit. That's why that was on my wall. Like I need to rewrite it and put it back up there. And in that, it's like thinking about that. Okay, well, how do you enhance each time you grow? Because sometimes some people, I wouldn't say because you can't grow on accident. Growth is a choice. It's not automatic, right? So you can't grow on accident. So when you are growing, it's an intentional factor that's happening. The places that you're at, the people you're around, the materials that you're diving into. But when you do grow, how are you enhancing it? How is it something where it becomes an automatic response and it's not something where you have to hit the wall to relearn again? Right. I've seen this so many times and I've gone through it as an entrepreneur when you're just consolidating, you're just like up, down,
Mm.
up, down, down, up, down. And it's not that you're not growing, you're growing, but you're not keeping your growth. You're not doing the thing in a certain way to enhance it, to now be like, all right, bet I have this in my pocket. Now this is something I can teach, I can give. Now let me enhance myself. How else can I grow in this certain area? And so while I'm going through because we're both studying the same book, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Mhm.
I'm really taking my time because most of the time, like I'm that person. I'm just like, yeah, I read five chapters today. I read. But it's like, okay, we're studying now. Like we're studying, we're studying. We're taking our time. We're dissecting every page or whatever it was that stuck out. And I think the biggest thing is like we don't understand. that we do have a guided system in us, that we
Mhm.
actually do have exactly what we need, which kind of stunts the enhancing part, right?
Yeah.
And then and now you're looking for continuous results, but it's like each time though, like you have to enhance, you have to keep going. Like, yep, you hit it. All right, cool. I was listening to Stormy Wellington yesterday. She had like this live event that she was doing, and she was just like, you guys, because they were asking her, they were like, walk us through your day, the day that you made $1.3 million
Mhm.
in a day. And they're like, walk us through that. Like, what were you doing? How did you feel? And straight up, she was like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything except a few things. Like, she was just like, when you do the thing, you hit the goal, it's gone. Like, it's no longer now. Like, I move into the future and remain in the present.
Yep.
Happened, it's done. And I'm just like, freaking goals to just be talking about, like, yeah, just 1.3
In
and
a
da, da, da,
day.
and not even, it was actually in 6 hours. It wasn't even a full 24 hours. But like just watching this dialogue be something that's just normal, like this dialogue right here,
Yeah.
right? But what she said was so profound because she was like, you for like once you do it, you forget the thing. And that's why too, she was just like, you can't go based off of like your accomplishment. She's like, something that I'm constantly asking myself, who am I? Because you have to constantly ask yourself, who are you? Who are you in this season? Who are you in this moment? Why are you in this scenario? Right. And I feel like that key right there, and it clicked. And I'm like, that's what we need for the growth to enhance. You know, who are you in this aspect? Okay, cool. You learned X, Y, and Z. Okay, who are you in that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you in that? What type of leader are you in that? How does it make sense? And then how can you enhance yourself? And one thing in the book that kind of clicked, let me try to find, I highlighted it and I was reading, it was saying, it said that our creator did not shortchange us.
Mm,
And
literally
I was
wired us
like,
for success.
yeah, and I was just like, sheesh. Because once we grow, we just kind of like, okay, well then you expect this result all the time. But no, the enhancement is what keeps the constant results, the constant aligning with the thing. But it's this right here. When that hit, I was like, dang, people are always shortchanging themselves because they feel like there's something that's missing, there's a lack, and it's just like, why? Because you forgot.
Mm,
And it goes back to this forgetting thing, like the moment it happens or the moment the thing is, and it's like you would think, as who we are, and we would remember the things that would, you know what I mean, like make us who we are and make us feel great. And it's like, no, because we're in a world full of just so much distractions, X, Y, and Z, people telling you what you are, who you are, how you're supposed to move, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to look like. Of course, we're forgetful, and it's this. And when I remember reading that, and it was so good, but it was breaking down, like, of course, the realization of like the creative aspect and instinct that we have that nobody else has. No other thing ever created has, but we have it. So how can we use this guided system to enhance our growth every time we do grow? So it's something that we keep, and it's not just, and it's repetition. It goes back to you. How much do you actually want this, Yeah, and it was so good. It was so good. And I highlighted this one part, and it was saying the faculty of imagination is the great spring of human activity and the principal source of human improvement. If destroy this faculty, and the condition of man will become as stationary as that of the brutes. So it's like, okay, if you're not constantly doing this, like that's where you're gonna stay. And then guess what? That growth that you call this growth, and like, oh well, I came along, it's no longer growth. Now that's just what it is. That's just where you're at. and it's as if you didn't do anything. And I'm like, yo, I'm just like, this personal development game is so much deeper than raps, but it's really understanding like what you actually have. Like people are trying to look for the thing that's going to help them be capable, but
Mm,
it's like you have everything that you need. You just need to know what those things are and how they work,
wow.
and understanding that we're not a machine. We're not machines. We're not. It doesn't happen that way. We're not machines, but we do have a machine in us. We do have machines and systems and things that automatically put everything together for us. But how good can you get, and how deep of the understanding that you can have. And this is one of like the last things that I want to share that I learned this weekend, that was like just so like, if everybody understands this process, we are lit. Um, Hold on, let me grab my coffee. I left it on like across the room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because I was like walking around. You grabbed your cup and I was just like, oh, my coffee.
Where's my coffee?
Where is my coffee? But listen to this. This is such a gem. It's so freaking good. So most people are always saying that they they coordinate faith with like religion, God,
Mm,
right? And this example that I was given about that whole aspect this week was genius. And when we drive in a car, right, on the road, we have faith. We have faith that this small yellow line is going to keep this 100-ton whatever car truck to not come and run into us, right? We have full faith in the cars that we're driving, that there's not going to be a malfunction and it's not going to like blow up in our face, right? And
mhm,
like we have faith that the plane's going to land, right? We're boarding and we're doing like everybody, like we all have faith, right? And some people will be like, oh, like I don't do that thing, that God thing, or whatever the case is. But in reality, everyone has faith.
mhm,
Everybody. Everybody has faith in everything that they're doing, that they're going to do. You know what I mean? And the breakdown of faith what what was really it for me this week. Because when you have faith in something, what happens? You're at ease, you're relaxed, you're in a peaceful state of mind, right? And, before even breaking down the aspect of faith and how that really makes sense, it's like, do you have that level of faith in yourself and in your ideas and in your goals? The same way we have faith in people just doing things, the barista at the coffee shop to get our coffee right and do it perfectly the same way. You know what I mean? And faith in all of these things that we do on a day-to-day basis, putting gas in our car, going to the grocery store, driving on the highway, trusting and having faith that these people are going to stay in their lane.
mhm,
And if you live in Florida, y'all already know the vibes. It's crazy. But you have faith in that. So it's like, do you have that same level of faith in yourself when you say you're going to do something, or in the goals that you write down, or the things that you visualize? Like, do you have a convicting faith that it's to the point where you're at ease? It
mhm,
just is. And you already know it's there for you. Do we have that? So that's just a question I want everyone to just think about as I'm breaking down faith. So faith is to be at ease. And the only way to truly be at ease is to have faith in something. To have faith in these schools. I have to be at ease that I know that my kids are safe,
mhm,
you know? Regardless of all these crazy things, these massive shootings, whatever. I have faith every day that they're gonna come home and get back. And it's like I really don't know that, but I'm at ease. Because otherwise I'll drive myself crazy. I'll be calling the school every 10 minutes. Hey, where are my kids? Hey, what's the location? Like, you know what I mean? So It's the same thing with your well-being, with you, who you are. Do you have faith in that? And in order to have faith in that, you have to have understanding in whatever it is that you have faith in, right? So to have faith, you have to be at ease. And to be at ease and to have faith in something, you have to have the understanding of it. Okay, cool. So, but in order to have the understanding of something, what is it that you need? And it's even a Bible verse. It tells you in anything that you do, get understanding. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, get the understanding of it, right? And that is a wealth principle. It's not just, you know, it's it aligns the fact that it's a Bible quote, yes, and it's a wealth principle, but it's a wealth principle. And whatever it is that you're doing, your business, your income, what you want to do, be great at, what you want, the story you want to put out in the world, the people you want to help, you have to have a deep understanding for you to have full faith, be at ease, and execute that.
Mm,
So how do you get understanding, right? And this is the breakdown of faith. So to have faith, you have to be at ease, and to do that, you have to have understanding. So for understanding, what do you need? You have to study and implement. You have to study and implement, because if you don't study, implement, there is no understanding, right? Because your competence gives you confidence. The more competent you are in something, the more confidence you have in the thing, and the more faith you'll have in it, the more understanding. And guess what? The more at ease you'll be, the more flow state that will happen in taking the action, in doing the thing, in accomplishing the task. So, and whatever it is that you do that you have faith in, this is literally the breakdown of it, and every time. So how do you study? How do you implement? How do you get an understanding to have faith, to be at ease, and to execute? Well, you have to find whatever it is that you don't understand, that you want to have faith in, but you don't, because, you have to find those limiting beliefs, those doubts, the reason why, and then you have to find something that addresses that situation, whether it's a book, whether it's counseling, whether it's people, whether it's community, but find sound information, right? Sound information where it's the accurate information, where it's something that can be backed up, that has proof, that, can see, because baby, people always say stuff. They always say they did, they do. And if they don't have the receipts, that's not really something, but find a book that addresses the situation and study it. Study it to the Study it to the T. And if you need to break down and study it page by page and apply it every week, do so. Why? Because that's then going to give you understanding. Understanding is then going to give you faith, and you're going to be at ease. That's why the people that we know, that we study, move the way they move. They're not blinking twice.
mm,
And they say that they're going to do it. They have full faith in it. Why? Because they studied, they implemented, they understood. Now they're at ease, and all they have to do is execute and wait for it to come to the physical. And that's literally like the goal. Like that's the thing. That's the process that we have to get good at, because humans overcomplicate everything, and we reject things that we don't understand. Instead of trying to find understanding, we reject it instead. And then we prolong the process. Every time you say that you're going to do, you didn't do, you're prolonging everything. When you don't keep, when you don't keep, if for people that do trade, that do invest, you don't keep your trading plan. You don't keep the thing you said you're going to do. You're prolonging your process. You're prolonging the end of, the end of mine. You're prolonging that. Whatever it is, you want to retire your mom, or you're prolonging that every time you said you were going to do something, you didn't do it. You're prolonging everything that you want when you don't find a way to study and implement whatever it is. So find out the information, the book, the people to address that situation, study it, implement it, understand it, and then you'll have full faith in it. And it doesn't matter who question you. It doesn't matter who say whatever they're saying, because guess what? You studied and you implemented it. And now you're just waiting for the end result. And it's like if we can lock in the breakdown of faith, because that's what it is, having faith in something, trusting it, and then doing it. But it's like we have to like pull ourselves back and be like, wait, remember this process right here, this process right here. This is the process, you know? And then we go somewhere and then we hear someone and they say something, we share something with a small-minded person and they plant a seed. And even when we say things don't affect us subconsciously, we're soaking it all in. Dang, they said this, and that. Will really do I? And and it's easy to fall into like self-shame, self-guilt, and like, oh well, I actually didn't do this, and I actually should have this, and X, Y, and Z. But it's like those are the things that you have to discipline. Anytime something that comes, okay, go back to the truth. What's the truth? The truth, not your truth, not the world's truth, the truth. What's the fact of it? What's the law?
Mm, that part.
Well, what's that? Right? And that's what you keep your faith in. That's what you focus on. And this process that I explained, like we can literally go watch the person that you look up to. They have literally, they know this process. They know the breakdown of faith. And they do it on a consistent basis to where it's just automatic. You know what I mean? It's just consciously competent and they just do it, and that was one of like the biggest things in like, in studying and reading, this book this week and just the conversations, the people, the masterminds, and I'm like, sheesh, that's the only process I need to focus on. Because action is faith. When you don't take action, you're telling God, your creator that gave you the idea, that gave you the thing, well, you don't have full faith that it's gonna work out this way. And this is why people have plan B, C's, and D and F's and all of these other plans and backups. And that's why people jump from idea to idea, plan to plan. It's like, oh well, this is easier. And it's like it's the same process and everything. You go through spiritual debt, you go through invisible progress, you do the thing until it smacks you in physical reality, and then you level up and you repeat. Like it doesn't matter where you go. Like,
Feel like you're
what do
not
you
getting away from
think?
it.
Like, oh, this, this network marketing thing is this, is that, it's a scam, and and real estate is it's true and it's da da da, it's traditional. All right, cool. You have to go through the same process in real estate. Get out of here with that. Like, it's just like, yo, we need to get really good at just going back to the truth. And it goes back to, what I was saying earlier when I heard her say that, like, who are you? Because we get lost in that. Sometimes we think who we are is the situation at hand, is the career at hand, the thing we're doing at hand. No, like, who are you? Like, who are you? And in this situation, and what are you doing? And do you have full faith in it? And if you don't, why? Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
So the main thing that I took away from like kind of what you were saying was faith brings certainty. And certainty, you can't do anything. Like it is going to happen. Like every time I have made a clear, definite decision to where I'm like, that is happening. Like it is definite in my mind. It's certain. It happens. And it's like we can only connect the dots going backwards, not forwards. But
Mm-hmm.
if you go back in your life and you start to like ask yourself, like, when was I certain? It might have been a scenario or a circumstance that you're like, you actually don't know how it's gonna play out. But think back on the times where you're like, I'm making this decision and I'm certain about it, and it will happen. Um, and if you dig a little deeper, you might find some of those answers that you might have not have noticed, like, oh, I did that unconsciously. Like, I did that with my sports career completely unconsciously. There was a
Mm-hmm.
clear, definite decision, and I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea how it was going to happen. And then it happened in the best way that I could have ever imagined. Same thing with traveling. Clear, definite decisions.
Hmm.
No earthly idea how it's going to happen. And then there's certain things that just fall into place. And we say this over and over and over and I cannot wait for you guys to have these like experiences. And I know Eugene's had these experiences, Femi's had these experiences where it's like you make that decision and it just you're at ease. The decision was made. Now you can now you're good. There's no more stress in figuring it out because we can't control the how it happens. We can decide what we want to happen. And then
Mm.
the how fits in the process, but we are not in control of the how. That's a creator that I'm not. That is why we have a creator. But
Mhm.
the thing you said that made it like faith is to be at ease. And what brings ease? Certainty. Out of any of your acquaintances, friends, relationships, that general feeling, especially I'm going to paint a picture. When it comes to making plans, how often do people be like, yeah, like let's get dinner, let's get coffee, let's get and that's it. Like you're like, yeah, that sounds good. Zero plan was made, zero expectations set, zero amount of like, let's think this a little further. How certain are you that that is going to actually happen?
This time, it don't even stay in my mind. Like we didn't make no plans. We didn't put it on the calendar. I'm gonna talk to you the next time I talk to you. I know
It's
I'm not gonna
like
see you this week.
it's like immediately like it's not happening. And then you have friends that are like, "Hey, 1 p.m. Saturday, like we're meeting at this place." How certain do you think that that is happening? It's it's so simple, but it's like just that simple example of specific measurable. Like it's very clear. There's an expectation set. There's commitment made, and details bring commitment. Um, that was kind of a little tangent, but
A
overall,
good one.
it was it was the fact that faith brings certainty. Certainty comes from details. Certainty comes from literally just making a plan. And we don't have to actually know how that's going to happen. You just need to know what. And I think that's something that I have been studying and learning more and more and more from individuals that have learned this at a very high level. Um,
Yeah.
you literally don't have to know how. And they've done some incredible things. And I'm like, you're telling me you did all that and all you had in your mind was what you wanted. Like, yep. I was okay, but I need to stop worrying about the how.
Yeah.
Um, and when you were talking about the fact that like competence gives you confidence, ugh, competence. The more you study and implement and revise and edit your actual actions and start to see the process, like I'm sure all of us have said, why a morning routine? Like before we did morning routines. Like why do I need one?
Yeah. 100%. What's that gonna do?
Why would I ever get up more than 15 minutes before I need to leave my house? I want to sleep as long as I can possibly sleep. And then you study people who have a morning routine and they seem to be doing something that you're not doing. Whatever that is for you, you're like, I wonder if that's the thing that's getting them these results. So maybe I should try it. And then you try it, and then you iterate it, and then you implement, and then you get to a point where you have an incredible morning routine that you probably when you don't do it, you're like, wow, my day is completely different than how I thought it would be. Um,
Yes.
and so there's like these little things like we see and we observe. Um, but like my morning routine brings me today. I did not want to get up. It was 6 a.m. It's a Saturday, and I'm like, Can I sleep in? Could I? Sure. Would I tomorrow or would I tonight feel like I showed up in the best way possible? No.
Oh.
And so my challenge for myself today was literally like throw a pity party or freaking get up and like have an incredible morning. And I got a walk in, I got breakfast done, I got work done, I've sent something to somebody, they're in reviewing process. Like I've had all of these different things, some creative stuff. Um, and all of that happened because I was like, okay, fine, I'll get up. And I did not want to.
Yeah.
But I have the certainty that if I take the right actions that successful people take, I will become more successful. And so, as much as I didn't want to do it, I thought about myself going to bed tonight and would I have been proud of my morning if I didn't do anything? And the answer would have been
Mhm.
no. Like, would I have been fine and going to sleep and blah, 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 but would I have felt a little like you didn't leave everything on the table? Yeah. And that feeling I didn't want to do. Um, because it doesn't bring me certainty that I'm getting this stuff done for tomorrow and for the next day and for the future. And so all these little micro moments have major impacts on our life. Um, and
Mhm.
the who do you have to be conversation to get what you want really starts to leave a lasting impact on your decision making. And when you truly know what you want and who you have to become in the process, you really stop questioning it. Like, as like I said, I didn't want to do it, but I didn't really question, does this really matter? Like, no, I'm like, this
Yeah.
matters. Like, this
To
this is the me that I need to be, where this is not a conscious debate in my mind.
at all.
Somebody at the next level would literally have never questioned that. I was like, damn. Um,
So good. So good.
and so I think one of the things that we learned this week that I was paying more attention to from the book and from like the servo mechanism, like our success servo mechanism, was what you accept as true will be true.
Mm.
And somebody sent me a message. It was actually my dad. Love you, Dad. He sent me a message and he was like, enjoy your body while you're young because it just like kind of falls apart when you get older, is the general sentiment. Wasn't exactly word for word, but
Right.
and I was like, I don't accept that. Like
Rebuke.
I
Rebuke.
I literally was like, not in my world. Um, and I don't believe that we have to lose our body the older we get. Like it was just these things, but it's like these jokes and these little things that people genuinely believe because
Sheesh.
it's
That's
their
so good.
experience. Also, we don't have to take that as our experience or our future experience. And I was just like immediately based on like what we've talked about a lot before. It's like cancel, cancel, cancel. Like not in my world,
Yeah.
like, not in my reality. Um, what we accept as true will be true. And ooh,
Mm.
and you can see what people accept as true based on the way that they go about doing things. You can see it in their results. So it's like, what do you accept as true? A lot of that. It's like you accept this certain level of income as your truth. You accept this level of fitness as your truth. And then you were talking about how where was it? We need to like basically reverse engineer our problems and find somebody who's done it so that we can get the results that they have. Um, because that brings the faith and the confidence and the competence. And I've been doing that in my fitness journey. I've literally never thought that I can get to a certain body percentage that I want to get to because I've literally never thought about the problem. I was like, oh, if I
Let's
just,
go.
I'm like, I want to be at this specific body weight. or body fat percentage. Okay, that's the problem. I'm here. Now I know where I need to go. Who can fill in the gap? I found the person that could solve that problem. Now I'm taking the actions that she said to do in order to get the thing. And the only thing I have to do is just do those actions. And in 6 months, in June, I should have the results. And if I don't, we iterate because it's not um it would literally just it would be because I didn't follow the right, like I didn't do something correct. Like the plan is there in place in order to get these things. And I had the realization, I'm like, I have the best body in the world, like for myself. Like in 6 months, I will have the best body because I already have a plan and I've got literally all the tools. The problem has already been solved. Now the actions are being done in order to get that result. And there's clear certainty that that will happen.
Sheesh.
And I was like, I've never had that feeling in my fitness journey. And so I was like, this is crazy. Like it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Also, there's obviously room for error. So same thing with business. It's like we're gonna be dead set certain, and then you take just one slightly different action, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that that was the piece that's stopping this thing from happening and this thing. So it's like the iteration and being around people that are in community with where they have done the things that you want to do. And there's certain
No.
things that they haven't done that they can learn from you about, and vice versa. And it's like we get such a cool experience in life when we find people that have solved the problems and we just ask them how they did it. Like,
Right.
and in the faith aspect, like you have the confidence because they already did it. If somebody can do it, you can do
Yeah.
it. Like
That part.
if
You're
somebody's already
right.
done it, you can do it.
Hello.
So,
That's so good. That's so good. I love that. And I think even what you said, this is like the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I gotta go.
yeah.
But I would say like that aspect right there, like knowing how to solve your problems. It's just finding who can fill in the gap.
Yep.
Because like,
Learning to
and that's how you
identify
know
problems.
exactly. And that's how you know two people that truly want to have a solution because it's like, okay, well, the solution is right here. So what you gonna do?
Mm,
Are you going to take the action or are you going to keep saying that there's no solution and it doesn't make sense? Or are you going to, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's here. It's
oh,
right
so
here.
good. Yeah.
But now it's like, do you believe this? Do you believe in it though? Are you going to buy into it? Because it's here. And it's like, that's how I learned as a leader that, okay, you don't want to solve your problem. Like you actually don't because it's here. You know, you're afraid to just take the action. Like you want it to be done for you. Bet it doesn't happen like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
You
the
start to see
solution is
that
free, but the hustle and the grind is sold separately. You have to work. You have to
sold
do it.
separately.
It's sold separately, my G. How the bat like how you got to get the batteries for the toy for the thing. Yeah, the grind and the work is you got to go get that. You have to go
That's
lay it
hilarious.
brick by brick. But the solution is free though. It's here. That's so good. Like that's what I was thinking about when you said that. And I'm like, dang, like it's really just that. Do you actually want to have a solution? Do you want to be in the solution? Do you want to live the solution? Like, that's good. Sheesh.
Man, much love. I know you have to hop off, so but I'll
Yeah.
stay on.
I'm grateful for you. This was so good. This was powerful. This is definitely gonna be
Win-in.
like this is so good. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for
It's
being
always it's always cool the alignment of like the things that just as a whole that we're always learning, like the self-image,
yeah.
the reverse engine, like it's so in alignment, which is always so fun to me because I think that we all learn very simultaneously.
Yeah. And it's even I feel like it's even more powerful. And
Mhm.
like, there's so much more encouragement too, because it's like, okay, like I'm not crazy. This is real. Like
Like
this is
I'm not.
real. It's not just me. It's all of us, you know what I mean? And it's definitely a pleasure. And I'm grateful that I get to do this journey with minds like you, you know. Separation Saturday, sheesh,
Sheesh, been
for
going
real.
on for more than a year and a couple months.
Yeah, literally off of an idea, y'all. Hey, we should just do calls and give value to people.
You're like, okay, let's do it.
Right? And I'm so excited because and I feel like this is also too like one of those things where it's just gonna keep evolving. It's gonna, you know what I mean, into different things, and it's gonna truly be something that's impactful. I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you. Thanks for everyone that's rewatching this on either of our YouTube channels. Take one thing and apply. You
Hmm.
have 40 hours to apply it before you just forget about it.
Facts.
Literally. Grateful for all you guys. I'll see y'all next time. Be
See you
great.
next week. What is up, Eugene? How are
Hey,
you?
hey, Grace, how are you? I'm
Amazing.
good. I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good.
What'd you say?
I said I'm a little tired, but I'm good. So,
Did you just get off of work? Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. Always excited to see you. Um, what have you been learning? Because I know you've been reading Psycho-Cybernetics. How's it going?
Good. Good. I found the audio version of it. I found the audio book on Spotify. So
Even better. Yeah.
I've been like, I read, and then because I have like 2 hours of driving every day, I can, yeah, just listen to it on
Facts.
my way to work, on my way back home. So, yeah.
It is very powerful. And that's exactly like listening to it over and over and over again. Like I have the physical book, but I honestly listen to the audio more than I read this thing. Um, what's been one of your biggest like aha moments?
Uh, I just I just listened to there's a part where I think it was in chapter 3 or chapter 4 where he says, and you just touched on it, that or yeah, I think it's Femi touched on it, that if someone else can do it, then you can do it. And that to stop comparing ourselves to other people, like just because like Alex Morton, for example, is like he's at where he's at because he's just put more time into what he is doing than I have.
Hmm.
Like he's studied more books. He's just
He's had more time
like
to be able
yeah,
yeah.
solved more problems. Like he has more wisdom and understanding than I do. It's just like I'm not, and stop comparing not compare myself to him. He's no better than me. He doesn't make him a better person. It just means that he just put more time into something than I have.
Yeah.
And if he can do it, then I can do it. Like I have I have the same, you know what I mean? Like I have the same, we all have that same, we're all built the same way, that same
Right.
like success orientated, like if I just learn what he has learned, if you just learn what he has learned, then we can be there too.
Yeah.
That was huge for me. It's like, oh, they're not like none of these people are better than me.
Hmm. It's like nobody's better than like this part. He says science has confirmed what philosophers, mystics, and other people have declared long ago. Every human being has been literally engineered for success by his creator. And it's like you said, like it's just a time thing. Like we compare chapter 1 to chapter 30 on people, and it's like they've had time, experience, understanding, heartbreak, wisdom, learning, like all of these scenarios. Therefore, their decision making is going to be different. Also, doesn't mean that you can't do it because you get the information at this time and now you get to do it for this long. And in 15, 20 years, people will be like, how's Eugene do that? And then Eugene's got 20 years experience on how to do that. And it's like exactly what you said. Like nobody's better or worse than anybody. We're all created with the same faculties to be
Yeah.
able to do things. It's what you do with that information when you get it. Just really
Yeah.
freaking
Like,
exciting.
yeah.
You're like, I can do anything.
Yeah. And it's like I'm my own unique person, and so are you. So is everyone else. And to realize that I bring my unique set, my uniqueness, my personality to wherever it is that I'm at, like at my job, in this business, that like an understanding that I am unique and I bring is this unique set of skills and you know everything that's been endowed to me by the creator, right?
Hmm.
It's unique in it, like yeah, realizing that's that I have that's there to serve me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's so powerful. This book is, and if you guys are on YouTube, Psycho-Cybernetics. Um, yeah, it'll improve self-image. Like, what was it? I think it's this part. I just read it. This part. It says you act and feel not according to what things are really like, but according to the image your mind holds of what they are like. And it's like you have a certain mental image of yourself, your world, the people around you, and you behave as though those images were truth, the reality, rather than the things that they represent. And I'm like, man, it's all the self-image. Like it was, I was listening to something earlier this week, and she was talking about, and she's made Layla Hormozi, she was talking about somebody had asked her the question, like, do you feel worthy enough to be making this much money? And she goes, no. And he was like, wait, what? Like, how do you earn this much money if you don't even feel worthy of it? And she goes, I don't think I deserve it, and I don't think I'm worthy of it. Um, I just took the right actions, and therefore money showed up. And I was like, huh. So if you even if your internal dialogue is I'm not worthy to have money, which has been mine for like a long time, like worked a lot on not feeling like I deserve it because I'm like who deserves it? But then I'm like okay, who there's people that make a ton of money that don't quote unquote deserve it. Like they're doing illegal things to get it. They're doing all these things, but they're still making a lot of money. And I was like, so what is this deserving thing? And she kind of just blew it out the water. She's like, I don't deserve it. She's like, I just know how to make money and then steward it well. And I was like, so take the right actions, you get the thing. Take the wrong actions, you don't get the thing. And I was like, so it's really just actions, result,
It's
action, result.
still like that was powerful for me. There, like that, like the first chapter and that self image because you're having your like just as powerful for me was how like that self image will align your actions every single time because if I don't if I don't see myself as a successful trader, a successful network marketer, successful investor, like successful, if I don't see that successful like crypto portfolio, like it doesn't, I will not do the actions that my
Right.
actions will not align. That was huge for me. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to work any harder than anybody else. They have to work, but I don't have to work harder than you or
Right.
Femi. I don't have to work harder than Alex Morton. I just have to hold as that image in my mind of being a successful trader, network marketer, businessman. I just have to see it first and then just hold it and then not only and then just feel like what's it gonna feel like when Eugene has $1 million in his crypto portfolio? What's how is Eugene gonna feel when he's at this rank in his business and he's making this much money? How is it gonna feel like when I no longer have to work my job?
Hmm. Like, what
Am
are
I
the
gonna be excited?
things?
Like, yeah, like excited, like how much fun am I gonna have, right? Like, all of that stuff. Like, I just have to just picture that and just hold that in my mind, and then feel those feelings, it actually is already happened.
Right. It's so real. Like, it's everything comes back down to the self-image. And I think that's why some of the like you said, like the actions that we take are based off of the self-image that we have. So our actual work to be done in the meantime is figure out how to improve the self-image so that the actions that we know consciously are the actual actions that we take.
Yeah, like Layla Hormuzzi just, I'm a good steward of money, right? There's that self-image that I am a good steward of money, and I know how to make money. So whether, yeah, it's that self-image that I am this, like I am good at this.
Yeah. It's like I can manage this. So therefore, I should get it. I can make it, I can keep it, I can grow it, I can do like all these things with it. Therefore, if you take the right actions, you get the right things. And I was like, hmm,
Still that feeling of like deserving it, right? Because you did the right actions. Like I know how to steward money. I do the right actions. I get money.
hmm.
Yeah. Like,
That one was a big one for me. I was like, wow. And I was like, do you steward money well? I'm like, yeah. So therefore, you should make more money because you can handle more money. And I was like, that's a it's just not a way that I've thought about it before. So like that was cool. To hear that from somebody who's made hundreds of millions of dollars and like she doesn't even think she's worthy of it, but she knows how to do it. So it's good. I was like, that's cool. So therefore that negates that whole concept of having to be worthy of it,
yeah.
which is pretty dope. Let's see. Well, we are
And I have to watch some of his
what is it?
stuff. I'm gonna have to watch some of his stuff and her stuff.
You should definitely watch some of Layla's it was that conversation she had was with Lewis Howe on the School of Greatness podcast. It was Lewis Howe and Layla Hormozi having that conversation, which was really good. Most of her conversations, she talks about like business operations, um, and like how to run successful like operations within management and systems and teams and all that. But her conversation with Lewis was a lot more like the emotions behind why she does what she does,
Okay.
which was cool. Um, and then if you want to learn frameworks, Alex's podcast or Alex's content is solely there to help go from 0 to 10,000 and then from 10,000 to 100,000 and then 100,000. He's basically just giving out the entire framework for how to trade a dollar for more dollars, how to trade attention for dollars, how to get how to get people to give you money. Um, which in all aspects we have to learn that skill. So on whatever across the board, like even with jobs, like I love that people are like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, you still need to know how to do this. Like you still have to figure out how to ask for more money from a job, like how to get a raise, how to negotiate salary, how to like all of these things involve the skill of
Yeah, how to
asking.
negotiate a promotion.
And it's
Like
like,
I had this thought of like how um, when I was working service rigs and how I went from like roughneck to derrick hand. And yeah, you have to learn how to ask for it. And I got like in my mind, I'm like, I'm fed up like being a roughneck. That's the first thing you feel like I'm fed up being in this like position, right?
mhm,
And then, like for me anyways, and then I get some like that motivates me, like, you get that little bit of anger and that fire, and you're like, you know what, I'm no, this is like enough's enough, right? And then you start taking action. But I thought about like what did I do? Well, I went and I talked to my I talked to my tool push. Hey, I want to move up. That was the first thing you communicate, like, and you have that conversation. And it's okay, you need to do this, 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 and this. Again, like that's fine. That here's my problem, and here's the
exactly.
solution to the problem, and just do these things, and you'll get there. And I was there like a year later.
Yeah. And it's like if you never had that conversation,
And learn how to it's just opening my mouth and just asking like, how do I get from here to here?
mm, it's a big deal. It's all part of the process. And like you have so much
Yeah.
understanding in that. Now you get to apply it to business.
Yeah, and I sort of realized I just have to apply it. Like I just have to
The
find
same skill set,
like,
different.
hey, Alex Horton, how can I get to where you're at?
Mhm. It's like you have the
Like,
skills. They're in like the skills itself. They're not industry specific. You have the skill of asking. Therefore, you can do it in any industry. Um, when you consciously know that that's the thing, which is
yeah.
cool. I love
And
it.
another thing that um, another thing that was I found profound this week. I was listening to Eric Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about greatness, and he had this story of how his wife had kicked him off of laundry duty because his clothes didn't smell as good as her clothes did when she does the laundry.
She's like, no, you're fired.
And he, yeah, and it's like, but I like if I, and he said he took it personally because if I can't be great at home, if I
Mm,
can't wash clothes, then how can I come and speak to all you people and tell you to be great
yeah.
when I can't even wash clothes at home? I was like, wow, okay, like that is so true. Like, how can Eugene tell like when if I'm not great here at my own house, like if I'm not a great father to my kids, and I can't tell you to be great if I'm not like striving to be the greatest, like the doing the best that I can, like at the job that I'm at. I can't I can't become like a great trader or business person if I'm not first like great, like I said, at my job right now, and a great
But
father
I
and
I get
a
the
great,
sentiment.
it's like
I get the sentiment,
congruent.
but I think I disagree because it's all specific. So it's like I could be really good at this one thing and still be working on so many other things, and I can still tell people to be really good at this one thing. And so it's like, yeah, those might be things that I'm working on, but if you have very specific niche down understanding of one topic and you're teaching on that topic and that's the only thing you talk about. That's like there was a guy, he's one of he was a trading educator. Super shy, super like didn't want to be in front of people, introverted, all of these things. When he's talking about trading, you would never know he's an introvert. If somebody were to tell him to give a speech on mindset, he'd be like, no way in heck am I doing that. He's like, I am good at this one thing. I will do this one thing, and that is all I'm going to talk about and teach people. And I was like, whoa, because he's not good at all these other things. And he's like perfectly okay with those being the things that he's working on. But he's like, in this capacity, I can help people. And I was like, that's powerful. It's obviously like a different take on it because like I don't disagree, but I also want to be like, I don't have to have everything together in order to be good at this
No,
one.
no, that's not wherever I was going. I was saying like the I, greatness is I have to be as congruent in all areas of my life. Like that greatness has to
Be the
be
overarching
congruent.
theme.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't get up on a stage and like be talking to people about being great if I'm like, I don't know, like if I was being like really curt and short with my kids, right? You know what I mean? Like all the time, if I was being, if I wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like it's having that greatness is in all areas of my life, like not just like one area, like not just being, oh, I'm a great,
Greatness on the things that you have determined that you should be great at.
yeah,
As an
yeah,
overarching like I want to be excellent because I am the definition of excellence in my own mind. Like what was it my one of my things.
yeah. It's kind of like that. How you do one thing is how you do all things,
hmm Like
and then you go into it.
my actual
Yeah,
goal for today is to maintain an attitude of competitive greatness. Like that's a goal of mine today is to stay in a state of competitive greatness. Like everything I do, whether it's laundry, meal prepping, not wanting to get up in the morning, to actually getting up in the morning, to working, to doing things like how can I remain in an attitude of competitive greatness? And I was like, that's a fun challenge because I did not want to do anything today. Like, zero part of me
yeah.
felt like doing it.
Yeah. I think it's like that's just the like tying in, like just thinking about like the four agreements and like
hmm
I'm going to do the best, like do my best at every thing that I'm doing, right? So that I don't give that, so that I don't give the judge something to judge me on. And then it's like, oh, yeah, like what you were talking about, like you could have slept in this morning,
And then I would
but
have felt like, meh, I let
yeah,
myself like slack off on that one thing. And it would have drove me
yeah,
nuts internally.
yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody
Because I
else on the
think that,
outside would know.
yeah, I don't have anything to give the judge to drive me nuts.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great conversation. Like observing your own thoughts, observing like what makes you show up the best way. Um, observing the little things. I'm like, wow, when my room's actually clean, for some reason I show up better. Does that mean that I can't show up if I needed to? No, but do I feel way better when my room's clean? Yeah. So therefore I should keep my standard of excellence. But that's mine. Somebody else could be completely fine with their room being a mess, and that doesn't affect any part of them. So it's like observing where and how you show up the best and then not placing those on other people. It's like figuring out what they are,
Yeah.
asking them. But yeah, just all these little circumstances and little things that you learn along the way. Really powerful. But I have to get ready for another meeting at a coffee shop. So, as always, good to
I
see you.
get, I need to get to sleep.
What?
I need to go back to sleep. I
You
had a
gotta
little
go back
nap,
to sleep. Go back to sleep.
and
Enjoy your
I
rest.
thought I will.
See you next week.
Yes. So this is the highlight of my week.
I love
One of the
it.
highlights. So
It's always a good conversation and it's great. It's powerful. I love what we do.
I love this too. So we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, Eugene.